Should you draft Jakobi Meyers in fantasy football this year? Let's talk about it. Jakobi Meyers is a really safe, low upside pick. He finished last year as the wide receiver 29. He's currently going as wide receiver 44 and the 83rd overall player. So he's already got a lot of risk avoidance baked into him. He finished last year. If he finishes the same as he did last year, he'd finish 13 spots ahead of where he's currently ranked. So he feels very safe. Looking at the Raiders' offense, Jakobi Meyers is absolutely the number 2 target behind Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers is just a lot more talented than he is. But that doesn't mean Jakobi Meyers isn't a really solid, above-average NFL receiver. He's just not an elite receiver. The Raiders brought in Geno this offseason and Pete Carroll, and hopefully that gets this offense to be better than it was last year. Last year they had Gardner Minshew and Desmond Ridder playing quarterback. That didn't work out. Geno, regardless of whether or not he's whether of how much he actually elevates his Raiders offense, I think he'll bring a level of stability to this offense that will boost Myers' production. Because last year, Myers was a guy who, his floor last year was about 8 points and his ceiling was 15. But if we could shift that to maybe floor is 10 or 11 and ceiling is 16 or 17, you're looking at a guy who has legitimate wide receiver 2 contention. And he is a guy who I think that if you need a wide receiver to start for you, Jakobi Meyers is that guy. If you need some level of wide receiver production, you went heavy running back, or you already drafted a quarterback or a tight end by the time you hit the 8th round and you need steady wide receiver production, Jakobi Meyers can be that guy. He's had at least 10 PPR points per game every year since his rookie season, and he has increased his points per game every year on top of having at least 10 points per game. So he's a very safe player. I think the upside is really capped with Myers, though. He's never really been a great touchdown scorer. He's only scored 20 career touchdowns in 91 career games. So you can't really bank on, I wouldn't bank on a flurry of touchdowns to come in maybe from Geno and really improve Myers' stock. I do think that the value Myers has is just that he's going to go out there and put up 12 to 15 points, hopefully. And that you can just rely on that and hopefully nail other picks that have higher upside. I don't hate drafting Myers, but I think I'm going to give him a grade of B- just because he is what it feels like, that very safe, stable pick, but there's just no upside. And I think that really keeps him from being a higher grade.